Hey friends, happy Friday. Welcome back. It's Quenby, the Grateful Queen, here on YouTube. It is July 9th, 2021, and we are doing Reseller Community Night every Friday on this channel at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I go live. I call it Reseller Community Night, and it's an opportunity for resellers who sell online on Poshmark, eBay, Etsy, Depop, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, wherever you sell, to get together and talk all about their week in reselling. We love to talk about where we get inventory, whether that be from thrift stores, the Goodwill outlet, Thredup, Jomar, B&G trading, all the places. And we share our goals, the things we want to accomplish in our reselling business. I have a live chat, so if you are in the chat, please be sure to introduce yourself. Even if you've done it before, just remind us what your real name is, not just your username. Let us know where you are in the country and what platforms you sell on and how long you've been selling. If you have any questions about reselling, be sure to ask, because we have so many wise friends in the chat who have been reselling for a long time on all sorts of platforms. So we often come to this live with our questions, or if we have any challenges or concerns. We really want to build a community of resellers that want to support each other and encourage each other and keep it positive and build each other up. I see some friends coming in, so I can't wait to say hello. Give me a check-in about what's going on for you this week in reselling. It is summer 2021. The busiest quarter for resellers is coming up soon. So how are you preparing for that? Or are you taking a vacation? I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I'm not sure if everybody in the community that always comes to these lives will know that I'm back on again, because I missed a couple weeks. I was sharing all about my trip over on Instagram. So find me there at The Grateful Queen on Instagram. And let me say hi to a couple friends, and then let's see what we'll be talking about tonight. How is everybody doing? We've got Timeless Jewel by Deborah saying hi, so good to see you. And Lindsay's Posh Loft is here. Hey, Lindsay, I saw a cute picture of you on Instagram. And my friend Terry, I missed you, Terry. We got to figure out some type of collab, because I checked Instagram while I was on vacay just a little bit, and I was like, I wonder what she's up to. She said, hi, Quimby, I'm driving out soon. I decided to stop by. Where are you off to? What's going on? My friend Deborah Anderson is here from Texas. What's the weather like right there, right now? Because I'm here in Northern California, you guys, and we're going through a heat wave. I think a lot of places in the country are. Does that affect you, your reselling business and all that at all? Like, I thought I might go thrifting today. It's my last day really of vacation. And I was like, no, I don't want to go out. I don't even want to go, in and out of my car. I just feel like staying home and staying in the AC. But what's it like where you are now? Sarah is here saying, oh my gosh, I made it. I'm so glad you made it. You were going to make it, Sarah. You were telling me. And it was like the 1 week I was gone. So I'm so glad you made it. Tell us a little bit about you. Where are you in the country? Where are you selling? How did you guys do with 4th of July sales? I was gone, so I didn't get to take part in that. But when I checked into Instagram, I just did a little bit of Instagram at the end of the day while I was gone. It seemed like people had some good sales. Did you do anything in your reselling business for to promote sales over a holiday weekend? Sometimes it's a great time to run a promotion or a sale. Did you guys do anything? And if you're watching the replay, be sure to leave a comment and check in there. And you need to be subscribed to the channel with the little bell turned on, or you don't get a notification that we've gone live. So you cannot watch the lives until after. So make sure you're subscribed. Allie Dell is here saying hi, friends, with her cute doggy. My sister had 2 pugs. We went to visit. Oh my God, did Torvald love it. It was so fun. Hi, Lynette. I'm glad you made it. I know you weren't sure if you were going to. Alicia's here. I was just on your channel today popping in. She said, the heat makes me want to go outside. Cold air makes me want to stay in. So you do well in the heat, not me. I'm like, get me something. Get me somewhere cool immediately. Oh, Lisette's here. New England Betty Boop. Hi. She says, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and hit that thumbs up. So if you're watching the replay, be sure to do that too. A highlight of my trip was meeting Lisette and her husband, Andrew. They came down to visit me. So let's chat about that. Let me just say hi to people. It was awesome, and it really inspired me, you guys. So I want to make sure to talk about it. Okay, let's see. I got a nice super chat from Terry. You're such a sweet, generous human being. I really appreciate that. Thank you for all you do in the reselling community, Quimby. Thank you for all you do. If you're in the chat, my guess is you're already subscribed to Terry at Evolving Always. If you're watching the replay, make sure to find her, especially on Instagram. She's on here on YouTube too. She just does a lot. Like, how do you do it all? Could you give me a tip, Terry, about how you do it? Like, you just put out a ton of content. And you seem genuinely interested in motivating and inspiring people in business. How do you put out so much? Thank you so much for what you do. It's amazing. It really is. It's like you've got so much going on. Hey, Goddess Threads. I'm so glad you made it. I think some of our friends did not get the memo that we're back yet. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Let's see. Timeless Jewel by Deborah says, listening as I'm warming my vegetable garden. Was out thrifting for, I bet she meant watering, was out thrifting for 8 hours today? Like, how do you thrift for 8 hours? Where were you, at the bins or thrift stores or what? I once again forgot to do my intro, which I do a lot. So if you're tuning in and you've been watching this for like 6 minutes. I'm Quenby. I'm a part-time reseller. I'm a full-time psychotherapist. I have another channel called The Grateful Therapist, all about mental health. I put out some videos on anxiety, on being an introvert, on grief, all sorts of mental health issues. So I'd love to see you there. I've been reselling for 10 years, and I know it's 10 years because my son Torvald just turned 10, and I started reselling his baby clothes. That's how I got into this whole gig. If you're like a mom at home and you want to make some extra money, kids go through their clothes like crazy, you guys. And it's a great way to get started. You already have the kids' clothes. You probably got them as like baby gifts. And you can sell those clothes, buy your kid more clothes online on sites like Poshmark or eBay or Mercari or whatever, right? That's how I got into this. It was a hobby. And then I started making more money than I could like spend on him. So I started socking it away, and it turned into this whole business 10 years later. I also sell on Etsy, my digital products, and I sell on Poshmark for a few years, mostly fashion stuff, clothes, shoes, jewelry, but I'll sell kind of anything if I see something. I'm putting out a haul video, a thrift with me for Sunday, and I bought a sleeping bag. Do you guys go through like the linen sleeping stuff, that section? So you'll see that in the video, and I'll tell you a little bit about why I bought that. So let's see. New England Betty Boot, my girl Lisette says, my sales have been amazing because I'm listing like crazy. And you know what, guys? If you're watching this, especially as a newer reseller, that's the number one tip. I mean, there are all sorts of little tips we can give you to increase your sales and grow your business. But I still think, in my opinion and my experience, that listing is king or queen. It's like list and sell, list and sell. The more you list, the more you're going to sell. All the platforms want you to be active on there. All the platforms want to see you on there every day if you can. And I've always noticed when I put time into listing, I make sales almost immediately, and definitely, certainly over time. So that's the way to do it. And then there's all these other little nuances, little tips that we can share. But that's the number one tip that I always come back to. What do you guys think about that? Deborah says, I'm in Naperville, Illinois, the western suburbs of Chicago. My sales were good over 4th of July weekend. Did you guys do anything? You know, holidays, they're just like an opportunity. People are used to getting sales and stuff. So it's really easy to run sales on eBay. And on Poshmark, you can send out offers. But I always try and do some kind of promotional sale. I think people are looking for that. So it's a really good opportunity to like clean out old inventory or make some extra money. Does anyone else think that, was it like Lisette said, her sales were amazing and she thinks it's because she was listing? What do other people think? If your sales were good, do you think can you attribute it to something? Is it listing or something else? Alicia said, yes, I love the heat. It was 90 degrees, 100% humidity today, and I loved it. LOL, anything lower than 60 degrees and I can't go out. Gulf Coast life. That is so funny. I grew up in New England. That's where I was on my vacation. And so No, I can't do heat like that. My partner, Petey, he's always just fine. Like, and I'm like, no, I need to go from AC. Like, it's just, I just can't stand that much heat. Fashion Cat's with us, and she's saying list. I still believe that that's the number one. I've seen some videos that I took a look at on YouTube when I'm listing or organizing inventory. I always have you guys on, all the resellers on YouTube. And I've seen some videos lately, like it's not all about listing, it's these other things. That's not my experience, my lived experience and all the research I've done. I still think that's the number one. There's all sorts of other things you can do. You can run sales. You can get better inventory. You can work on your business model. There's all sorts of things you can do. You can be super active on the platforms. But in my experience, listing every day is still the number one factor that makes me have more sales and more money. And I can't do it every day. So what I do is what we call like banking listings. What do you guys do? How do you manage that? I can't list every day because I'm a part-time reseller. I have another job, but I can sit on days where I have a few hours. I'll just sit and build listings. I'll put on some YouTubes and I'll sit and build listings. So I'll have them like in a bank so that I can release like 5 a day is what I like to try and do. When I did 10 a day, my sales increased like crazy. I have a recent video. It's called my eBay sales are up 43%. And I did kind of like an experiment of listing 10 items consistently every day. And I just watched my sales. They got up to 43%. That's an enormous percent. 43% increase in sales just by listing 10 items a day every day. I did it for a few weeks or a month. So Lindsay says, I'm currently working on revamping my eBay store. Ended all 1,000 listings and starting from scratch. Wow. Trying to list 20 a day on eBay so I can get my store up and running ASAP. Are you like documenting that, Lindsay? Are you going to share about it on Instagram or anything? Because I love when people do experiments like that, because I think things really become clear and evident what's working in your business. So I just think it'd be awesome if you documented it and maybe saw the difference, like what listing 20 a day did for you. So what are you doing to revamp? Are you changing them all? Or are you just ending and relisting? When I end, and I do it using Vendoo or Prime Lister, I have links for both those in my description section and tutorials if you're interested in software like that, like cross-posting software that can help you. I love them both. They're a little different. But I try and change the listings up a bit, because a lot of people, when they cross-post, they just end and relist. And that's totally fine. I think there's value in that. I also think there's value in changing them in some way. So changing your price or editing your description or making sure there's no errors or changing your photos, like improving photos. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into my store to change things. And I'm like, no wonder this hasn't sold in 6 months. My pictures are like blurry, or there aren't enough, or they're crap, you know? So sometimes I think it's helpful to go in there and really change things up a little bit. What do you guys think about that? Alicia says listing is the key, and Fashion Cat says definitely listing. So it's not just me. That seems to be the consensus. Every once in a while, someone will come up with some different theory, and I'll check it out. I'm always open to learning and growing, but you know, some things are just like, it is what it is. And I think that's the way it is with listing. Fashion Cat said, I'm still selling a lot of vintage. I sold a shirt for $75 the other day. What was it? I love the idea of vintage. And when I'm outsourcing, I often say to them at the thrift store, and I'm looking through the racks, I'm like, wow, if I sold vintage, if that was my niche, I would pick this up. But I still don't feel confident, like I know enough. I know what I like. Have you guys checked out Jomar Wholesale? Because they have vintage boxes up again. And I've seen some great videos of people unboxing vintage stuff from Jomar Wholesale. I'm an affiliate. I have a link down below. But if you use my discount code, The Grateful Queen, all one word, you get 10% off. They're my favorite right now. Jomar and Thredup. But Jomar is like getting better and better. But I know people are loving their vintage stuff, you guys. What do you think? Allie Dell says, I 100% agree with you. Sales slowed down a little, but I've been listing a ton, and now my listing numbers are up about 100 pieces. That is awesome. That is awesome. Just keep listing and see what happens. Sarah says, but I am getting a ton of local sales. So tell us about how you do local sales. Do you do like Facebook Marketplace, porch pickup, or how do you do that? So it's kind of a newer thing, you know, within the last 6 months, guys, that Facebook Marketplace is now offering shipping. So a lot of people are using it just like they use Poshmark and eBay or whatever, because you can ship now. So I think later tonight, Becky Park is doing a live talking about Facebook Marketplace. So look for that. I think it's tonight at like 6 or 7 or something like that. Alicia at Murrayed Life, definitely check her out. You guys, she's a great YouTube channel. She also pushes a ton of content, but you can learn a lot. She does a lot of different stuff, and she's adorable with the best accent. So check her out. She said, I just picked up some vintage dresses for the first time. It's definitely not an area I'm familiar in, but I want to try it out. I got them at a bag sale for less than 50 cents. Oh my God, you're killing me. That's awesome. Definitely keep us posted. I'm sure she'll do a video about it, but oh my God, I'm so jealous. I don't see bag sales here. I wonder if it's more like a South thing or an East Coast thing, because I've never once, living here in Northern California, I've never seen a fill a bag sale. Like maybe they just don't know about it. But I know growing up on the East Coast, going to church sales and rummage sales, like with my mom, there were fill a bag. I'm like so envious. One of the hard parts of where I live is that the cost of goods for inventory is so high. The thrift stores are just way more expensive than other people's, and I make the best of it. That's why I love the mystery boxes, because I can get stuff cheaper. You know, like a Thredup mystery box, if I get the women's Thredup rescue box, it's $2.60 an item, and I get 25 items shipped right to my door. I love it. But Lisette says, I've been working on 20 a day. It definitely makes a big difference. Oh my God, 20 a day, Lisette. How are you doing it? Do you have a VA, a virtual assistant? Even if half of them are relistings of old listings and, of course, cross-listing, that is awesome. How are you doing it? Like, what are some practical tips? Because I think a lot of us, like, we conceptually understand listing more is going to lead to more sales. Great, I love it. But how are you going to list more? Because it's a challenge to sit your butt down in the chair and list. And a lot of us need like tools or tips. Like, how do you do it? Do you do it all at once? Do you have a VA who builds the listings for you? A lot of people are going that route where they have a virtual assistant who builds the listings. Then the seller just double checks them and puts them out. Like, there are different ways to grow and expand. A lot of it, you get to a certain point where you need help. Like, as one human being, how many listings can you do yourself? You know, what's the ceiling there? So how are you doing it? Oh, CamXO has made it. Hey, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Fashion Cat said the vintage box from Jomar are great. Shirt I sold was from there. Oh, awesome. It was a vintage Catherine ham knit oversized shirt with a really bright abstract 80s design. KH created the Frankie Goes to HW Relax TC. I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's awesome. Sounds like this Catherine Hamnet is like a bolo, something to look out for. See, this is the thing. It is helpful, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, in the comments, to have a niche. Like, you can sell everything, and that's great. That's a great way to go. But it's helpful when you know a niche really well. Like, maybe you know vintage really well, or maybe you know like hipster stuff or band tees or outdoor stuff or athletic, because then you know the brands, you know the styles, you know what people are really looking for. It's hard to be an expert on all the different markets like that, right? Every once in a while, I'll take on a new market like jewelry or men's, and I'll try and familiarize myself more because there are things to know. Like, Fashion Cat sold that shirt. I probably would have just flipped right by that shirt at the thrift store and not known. So, God, it's so helpful to educate yourself. That's why I watch as many YouTubers as I can, as many videos, because everybody has different expertise, right? So glad Terry's here and Lisette and Alicia. It's so great to see you guys. I missed a couple of weeks, so it's so good to see you all. Cam XO said, I went to the Salvation Army just to look around weeks ago, and they had a men's Forever 21 faux leather jacket for $40. What? I know, it's crazy. A lot of people will take like a picture of that and be like, really, Goodwill, really, Salvation Army? I don't know what they're on about. You know, we just have to know. So they'll do something like that. And then it's like, but they'll be like some more designer item that they're not familiar with that they didn't even mark up. So you know, I still think there's opportunity to find treasures, even though they're doing that. But I definitely feel like, what is up? What is up, Goodwill and Salvation Army? At my Goodwill, I mean, I could rant about this, but I like to keep it positive, and I like to find the positive in all the stuff. Like, there's enough for all of us. It all works out. But my note is that Goodwill here does 0 sales, 0, no colored tags. They mark everything up. I can't even push through the racks. You'll see that in my Thrift With Me videos. They have so much inventory, and yet they're marking all this stuff up. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what do you guys think that's about? But whatever. Deborah says, I love to sell Platinum by Dorothy. I don't know what this says. Schwellen, the 80s and 90s. I don't know that either. You know, there's so much to learn. There's so many opportunities. I love that about being a reseller. The opportunities are endless. You know, you can learn to educate yourself in any of these different markets. Does anyone have like a goal, like they want to learn more about vintage or they want to learn more about men's? Because then you'll learn the brands, you'll learn what people are looking for. And then when you go out sourcing, you're like, oh, wow, I found something really good. You can find more bolo items that are going to sell for more. I think men's is like an untapped market. I think there is a ton of money to be made of men's. And if I was just a businesswoman, and not in this because I enjoyed it so much, I would sell way more men's. I did order 2 men's boxes from Jomar. I make way more money on men's. It sells for more. It's just, but I don't enjoy it as much. Like, I don't love taking pictures and listing it the way I do women's, you guys. So, but if I was smart and it was just a money-making thing for me, I'd be all over men's. Alicia and I from Married Life, we did a men's collab like a year ago. Fashion Cat said, a vintage bolo is Wizard of Oz Stanley DeSantis, sold for $80. Can go as high as $300. That is awesome. That is awesome. So somebody could like wanting to be learned more about like t-shirts like that. Sarah said, I can't find anything at our Salvation Army. Goodwill is still okay in my area. You know, it's so hit and miss. I can go to some of my honey holes and like have the most amazing day. And then I can go in there and be like, there's nothing here. So it's like a day-to-day kind of thing. But I do have stores that I think just get better stuff. I'm near San Francisco. And so my Salvation Army has great stuff. Like, I just reliably get great stuff, but they're always changing managers, and every time they change, it's different. So they don't have 40% off day anymore, and that's how I was really scoring. So you have to pop in and see what's new and what's changed and everything like that. Goddess Thread said, I sold a vintage full-length leather jacket for $1,200. Buyer filed 0. What does that mean? $1,200. What is buyer filed 0? Goddess Threads, you're leaving me hanging here. Buyer filed 0. Does that mean they didn't pay? $1,200. I've never sold anything. I think the most expensive thing I've ever sold you guys is like $250 for some men's Japanese jeans that I got in a Jomar Wholesale box. That's another thing I love about mystery boxes. Not every reseller loves the mystery boxes, but I do, because you might get some blah, 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 or bread and butter, and then you'll get these amazing things, like just these amazing things, designer things to learn. I've gotten, in my Jomar boxes, for some reason, I've got a lot of men's Japanese denim, and keep your eye out. Talk about a bolo. These jeans retail for $500, $700, and you can sell them for $100, $200, $300 online. But I never would have thought to look for that. But when I get them in a mystery box, I go, whoa, what's this? I wouldn't look for it. I look it up and I'm like, whoa, I learned something new. So I think of mystery boxes as a way that I learn new stuff. Because when I go to the stores, I look for the same stuff because that's what I know. You know, I probably have blinders on. I'm missing a lot. But if I get it in a box, I have to look it up and then I learn about it. Sarah said, men's, I need to learn it. I have a couple of trash bags of men's. What's in there? And Alicia said, I like men's, but not boring button downs. Oh, I know, the button downs. They do sell, but it's just like, you know, it's so boring. I hate photographing them, buttoning them all the way up on the mannequin. Ugh. But, you know, Fashion Cat said, what brands do you sell of men's? I sell what I get in the mystery boxes, but like I've done really good with jeans. Men's jeans, men's Everlane jeans, men's Levi's, almost any Levi's sell really well for me. Men's North Face, anything like from REI, like sporty stuff like that. But probably men's denim. Anything Lucky Brand men's, denim, shirts seem to do really well. You know, stuff like that. Allie said, a coworker gave me 10 contractor bags of men's clothes, which I don't know much about, so it'll be a learning lesson. That is awesome. Has anyone else had that? Like, where someone gives you clothes? Like, that is like incredible. If you can tell people what you do and get them to give you clothes, and it's free, that means your cost of goods is zero. And anything you make on that is all profit. You still have to do the work. You still have to list it and photograph it and ship it. So it's still work, but it's all profit. That's the very best way to go. And I know a lot of people, it seems like people give them stuff all the time. I mean, I think people think of me more in my world as a therapist. That's what they know me for, and less about reselling. And so I don't get stuff given to me very often. But listen, guys, that is really smart. Put on an email or a Facebook message and be like, hey, friends, just a reminder, if you're cleaning out your closets, you could even offer. The best way I think to ask is to offer to buy it. And then everybody usually gives it to you. So I'll be like, hey, I can pay a couple dollars an item, or you can donate it. And they usually just donate it. They want to get it out of their house and get rid of it. So they're great ways to ask. Let's see. Allison Cooper made it. Hey, girl, how's it going? Long time no see. I've sold 2 pairs of men's Buckle brand jeans this week. Yeah, Buckle, that's like a trendy kind of, what would you say, like a mall brand, but the women's stuff sells good too from Buckle. It sometimes says something else on the tag, like BKA the Buckle or something. You know, they do a lot of like heavily embroidered jeans, that kind of stuff, but it sells good. James made it. Ooh, haven't seen you. The Antique Boutique. Hey, y'all, I'm on vacation. And whatever that says, Texas Hill Country, but I got a signal. So hello, I'm so glad you made it. I feel like I haven't done the show in 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to get back to work. I put my stores, I took them off vacay mode. And I'm back in action. I'm going to be listing. I edited a video for Sunday, a thrift with me. CamXO, does anyone know if there's a market for vintage Rafaela sweaters, colorful wool? I bought one in a thrift store. It was so beautiful. I had to buy it, but I'm not sure if there's a market. That's so funny. I just sold a pair of women's Rafaela wool pants, vintage. They had a flaw. They were hemmed, and she still wanted them, and she gave great feedback. She loved them. I think it's about keywords. I don't know if that brand per se is like something people are looking for, but with vintage sweaters, I've gotten some, like I don't go out looking for vintage sweaters, but I've got some in mystery boxes, and I always put like vintage, and then I put 80s or 90s. So my title would be like Rafaela men's sweater, vintage, 80s, 90s. And then I'll put like grandpa sweater or whatever, or dad sweater, some of those keywords, and then put all those other like colorful, whatever you said it was, like colorful wool, whatever. But I like to put the years, I think it is, because I think people might put like 90s sweater in on eBay if they're searching. So Debbie made it. Hey, Debbie Whitehead. Great to see you. I'm so glad you made it. Lisette is saying hi to James. I just have to say the highlight of my whole East Coast trip, you guys, was meeting Lisette. So Lisette and her husband, Andrew, came down to the beach house. It was so generous of them because I know it took them hours to get there. I was like, listen, I'm going to be in New England. And some people messaged me, can we meet up? And I was like, it's a family trip. My dad's health is declining. He's got dementia. So that's what the trip was really about. So I couldn't go off on day trips to like meet people in thrift because I was like, I had a lot of work to do. My sister and I went over and met with my dad and his partner. We have to figure out all his like healthcare and all that and will and everything. So I was like, I can't make this a trip where I'm like, but she's like, I'll come down. I was like, whoa. And they came down. I hope you're following Posh is My Purpose. See, on YouTube, she's New England Betty Boop, but you'll find her on YouTube and Instagram at Posh is My Purpose and on Poshmark. She sells amazing mystery boxes that everyone loves and they're cheap. But it was just like, was that not the best? It was the best to actually meet one of you guys in person after talking to you for years on YouTube and Instagram. It was just the most satisfying experience. They are the best people. I'm going to be friends with them forever. They're so genuine, so wise. Andrew just blew my mind. He was like super wise. I mean, they're awesome. And so I hope to meet you guys. Tell me in the chat or the comments if you're watching the replay, is anybody going to Orlando, Florida for PoshFest? Because it's now what, July, August, September, 3 months. 3 months. I don't even know if I'm going to get a ticket to PoshFest. I'm just going to stay in the hotel to meet with you guys. And I'm thinking, like I have a hotel room and like one night I'll have a reseller community night or afternoon where we all meet up for an hour or something. Our group of regulars that's always here. What do you guys think? My mummy made it. That's grateful, Babette. Do the 5. So good to have you back as usual. Great advice and content. You're amazing. I know I'm prejudiced, but you're beautiful. Grateful, Babette. That's my mom. Love her. She comes and hangs out with us and she doesn't even resell. I mean, she's a long-term thrifter. She's one of the best thrifters I've ever been around. She's just a pro. And the best clothing that I have, it's usually from my mom. She's just amazing. So she comes just to hang out with us. She loves us. So Alicia said, if I go to PoshFest, I would definitely hang out with the Quemby Live at 5 group. Yeah, so I've already figured it out. Like I daydream about this. I'm like, well, everyone will be there and I'll just set a time like 2:00 on Saturday when nothing else is going on. And we'll all meet. And it'll be all of us that are here every week. I mean, we get some new people, but it's our group. Anybody is welcome. And you're going, right, Alicia? So if you don't know, if you're like, what are you guys talking about? Every year, Poshmark has an event for sellers. It's called PoshFest. This year, it's in Orlando, Florida, the weekend of October 7th, 8th, and 9th, whatever that is. It's at the Hilton Hotel or something. So I already booked a room. So some of us are going to meet up. The PoshFest tickets have not gone on sale as far as I know. And they are expensive and I think it's competitive, but I'm going regardless. Okay, James says, I'm going, but not to the conference like Quemby. I'll try and get a ticket. Lisette said, I'll be there, not going to PoshFest, but going to the pre-party and meet up with friends, eat and thrift. If you're wondering about my voice, Peter and I both caught colds. I think on the airplane. We're both vaccinated, COVID vaccinated. This was like an actual cold like you get when you're a little kid with like a runny nose. So I'm still not 100%, but I came on because I have to see you. So if you're wondering again, hey, Charlene. If you're wondering again what we're talking about, maybe you're newer to reselling or so PoshFest will sell tickets to their event called PoshFest and there'll be speakers, all like whoever the big Poshmark famous sellers, the reseller famous people will be up there talking. And some people are saying they're not going to go to PoshFest just because it is expensive and it's hard to get tickets. So a lot of us are like, well, we want to be there for the community. So even if you can't get a ticket, you could still go to Orlando, Florida. People are going to meet up and they're going to thrift and hang out. And, it's for resellers. So even if you're new to Posh or you're not on Posh, you could still go hang out. So I'm going to go and I'm going to be very shy. I'm going to be very like, in a little corner somewhere with like one or two people at all times. So don't take it personally. Just come up and be like, hey, Quimby. And I'll be awkward because, I'm an introvert. Love you guys. Charlene came in. I'm looking for your comment, honey, but I don't know where it went. Charlene from Islet Dreams, I'm so glad to see you. If I missed anybody, please, please, please leave another comment so that I can say hi and welcome you. Kate Mack, for example, I didn't see this comment. BKE, that's what it is. BKE, the buckle's a brand. Those jeans usually sell for me for at least $35. That's awesome. See, hi, Kate. Where do you sell? Tell us a little bit more about you. I don't see you every week. That's awesome. That's a good brand to look out for. Okay, let's see. I saw some other. Mo, what up? Oh, everybody's here. I knew it would take you guys a while to get in. We've got 40 friends now. For the first half hour, it was like 20, and I'm like, they don't know we're back. So I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. I went to Thrift in Santa Fe for the day. What did you get? What'd you get in Santa Fe? Alicia says, Quimby, you shy. Well, no, I'm not shy. I say shy. You're so funny, Alicia. I know I'm not. I'm definitely not. I'm introverted, but most people don't know exactly what that means. So I just say shy. I am a little, I just have a hard time with lots of people, lots of noise, energy. I'm like a sensitive, but I'm not shy at all. I'm very outgoing. Obviously, I'm very animated. But I get drained kind of easy, and I just do better with like small groups. So I just will sort of hope to connect with people maybe one-on-one, not in big, huge groups, and I'll do my very best. I can't wait to see you. Sarah said, I'm not super into Posh, but I feel like I could benefit a lot from the education. Oh, yes, 100%. 100%. I mean, if you're a reseller, everything will be pretty much applicable to you. There's so much to learn. Hey, Chicken the Sticks, I was in your neighborhood, and I've been looking at houses to buy in Maine. I was just in New England. I was just there. I'm in love with Maine. Hey, Tammy. Designer Duds Junkie is with us. TGIF. I know. Kate says, I usually try and be here every week, but don't always comment since I'm usually working on photographing and drafting my listings. I resell full-time on Posh, Facebook, Mercari, Kitizen, and Tradesy. Wow, that's awesome. You're really all over. Kitizen, you know how we were talking, you guys, about expanding to new markets? Kids. There's money to be made in kids on sites like Kitizen. I have some videos about how I sell baby clothes in lots, so you could check that out. I have a ton of kids stuff to list. It's just a little bit more work for me because I like lot it up to make more money on each piece, because it's hard to find kids stuff that you can sell for like 15 to 25 bucks. They're out there. There are certain brands, some Hannah Anderson pieces, some Mini Bowden pieces, stuff like that. But hey, Bora Bora Jen, but there's money there too. Who else sells kids? Please subscribe and hit the bell notification and that thumbs up. It really does help me out. Bora Bora Jen made it. Hey guys, sorry I've been gone a while. Me too. I've been gone a couple weeks. I just got back. So here we go. Sarah Gooden says, yeah, I'm super shy. Barbara Bosch made it. Hi all, I made it. Took a nice evening drive with my husband. Oh, that's so nice. I'm really glad you made it. It's good to see you back. New England Betty Boop says, I'd rather take that almost $300 and use it to thrift. Yeah, so it's about $300. I have not been to PoshFest, so if you've been to PoshFest before, leave a comment or something in the chat. And do you think it's worth the $300? Do you think it's more geared towards beginners? Is the workshops more geared towards advanced sellers, or who do you think can benefit? I haven't been to PoshFest, so I can't speak on that. For me, I'm always wanting to learn and grow. So I think if you go to PoshFest, you will take courses from people, listen to their lectures, and you will learn something and grow. Probably you really will. But for me, it's about the community. It's about meeting you guys. It's about connecting and networking, and that's good for your business too. Deborah at Timeless Jewels says, Bolo men's Robert Graham button-down shirts. They sell well. Yes, if there is a men's button-down, look for Robert Graham. And you know what, Deborah? I sold 2 women's Robert Graham. I didn't even know that Robert Graham made women's. One was silk, the most gorgeous shirt. I got it at a flea market for $5, and it sold for $49.99 immediately. And then I had another one that wasn't silk, but it was still really pretty that sold right away too. So men's and women's. Sarah said, I found a motel 10 minutes from the hotel for $198 for 5 nights. Oh my God. Are you saying $198 for 5 whole nights? I think the hotel I got that Posh recommends, I think it's the Hilton. I think it's $198 per night, but I do need a little bit of luxury. Like I'm 45. I've sort of outgrown like the hostel situation. I did it when I was young and it was awesome, but I need like a nice bed. So, and I'll be there and I'll be in my room a lot of the time. Fashion Cat said, I think I will do the virtual PoshFest stuff just for the heck of it, but definitely not going to it. It's more for newbies. Okay. Isla Dreams, there's your comment. Howdy, Quemby and all. Summer dresses are still selling well. And what's super in style now, I'm filming this July 9th, 2021, those long maxi dresses and long maxi skirts, peasant style. If they've got tiers, super romantic, like those are so hot, hot, hot right now. So if you have them, list them. Let's see what else you guys got. Fashion Cat said, I'm like that. I do not do well in large groups. I don't like all the background noise. It gives me anxiety. I like small focused groups, better quality conversation. That's how I am. That's a really great way to say it. And I do great, like at a party for an hour or something. I'm like, talking to everybody. And then I'll find like, oh my gosh, I'm done. Like I just get done really quick. An hour or so, I'm good. So I think I'll be somebody that's kind of dropping in and out of the PoshFest weekend. Like I'll come for a little bit and then I'll go chill or find one person to talk to in a little quiet corner and then I'll come out. But I definitely want to make sure there are a handful of you, you know who you are. There's probably 30 of us that show up almost every single week for this live, and we have for a year, and we've built amazing friendships and relationships, and I just want to go meet you. Like meeting Lisette was so amazing, she and her husband, and I'm like, oh my gosh. If you ever question whether these connections that we've made here in the reselling community on this live specifically are real, just wait till you meet us, because it's like, I felt like I gave Lisette and her husband a hug. I felt like I knew them forever. Like so comfortable right away, so easy, great connection. And that's the way it's going to be for all of us, when we meet. So I can't wait. Sarah said, I do have a pair of 511 tactical men's, just washed. I need to get those listed. Those are great. Yeah. And Alicia said, I feel so lucky. All of my friends give me their clothes. Oh my gosh. How do you guys make that happen? Getting the clothes. I mean, I wish so many more people would give me the clothes. Oh, Alicia said she's trying to become an expert in the lingerie underwear section. That section is where I find some of my highest profit sales, shapewear and compression wear. That is a really, really good tip right there. So the section of the thrift store that I often think is really kind of like overlooked. In my thrift store, it's like pajamas, sometimes sports bras and bras, robes. That section, there are some gems in there. And shapewear is stuff like Spanx, like that. They might have some compression. A lot of the vintage girls wear it underneath their like vintage clothing to get that hourglass look. Women often wear it if they're going to an event, like a wedding or something. And that stuff's expensive, shapewear. So look for that. But I think that it's usually priced pretty cheap at the thrift store. And I've made a lot of money on some of that stuff. Slips, vintage and modern slips. But the vintage lingerie, just go look it up. Like you could do your own education. Take yourself to the thrift store. Hey, Amberlicious. take yourself to the thrift store, just go to that section or a section you don't normally do, and just sit there and then look stuff up on your phone and be like, wow, I just learned a bunch of brands. I learned what people are looking for. It's like limitless how much there is to sell and how much you could learn and grow. Amber Alicia says, am I fashionably late? You are, but we're so happy to see you. I know I've been gone for a few weeks, so I think a lot of people were like not sure whether we were all meeting, but here we are meeting like normally. Designer Duds Junkie says, I get anxious and shy as well, and I would end up spending $600 to go and spend the whole time in my room. You know, listen, yes and no. Like, that's how I thought I would be. That's how I think, like, oh, maybe I'll do that. But what you have to do is strategize and set yourself up to do well at an event. Like when I go to parties, I know I want to go to the party and I want to see people, but I have to set it up in a way that works for me. I take my own car and it's like, I'm going to hang out with who I want for as long as I want, and then I'm going to go. Or I try and find one or two people that I can sit with and just have a really good connection, so it's satisfying for me. For me, if I go and say hi to 20 people and don't really connect, I'm dissatisfied. I don't feel connected. I don't feel like it's not a good interaction. But if I go and I only see 5 people, but I talk to 2 of them and really get to know them a little bit, I'm like, it was the best night ever. So you just got to strategize. So that's what I plan to do. Oh, Terry says I'll be there for sure. Oh, we're going to get to meet Terry. I can't wait. She's so awesome. She's awesome. Is your husband going to go with you? I don't know if Peter's going to come with me. My partner, Peter, he actually is reselling now. During COVID, when there was all this downtime and we were all home, I taught him how to sell on eBay. So he's been selling. But I don't know if he'll be able to get more time off work because we have all these little trips planned. But so to your point, like, I'm going to go and I'm going to take really good care of myself. So, you know, I'm going to go. I'm going to make sure I connect with the people I want to connect with. I'll probably go to, like, if everyone goes out thrifting, I'll make sure I have my own ride, or I'll, you know, so I can go when I want. Like, you just got to do what works for you. Lisette said, Andrew's not coming. How come? Does someone have to be at home? Let me see. Sarah said she's on Kitizen and she's in a share group. That's cool. Fashion Cat said, does anyone sell low content books on Amazon? Just curious. I know Terry from Evolving Always is on Amazon. I'm not on there. When I was in college, I had a business called Buddha Books on Amazon selling used books. I got them from the bins. And this was before you could scan books. So I had to sit there and put the ISBN, the book number, manually. Oh my God, it was crazy, but I loved it. It was so much fun. So yeah, I don't know. I don't do Amazon anymore, but there's a lot of money to be made there. I'll tell you that. So, all right, friends, I think we're going to wrap up. I think that Becky Park has a Facebook Live coming up this evening at some point. I saw it, but I'm so glad we got a chance to meet. I'll be back on Fridays now. And so I can't wait to see you and talk some more. If you want more Quemby, I've got a bunch of other videos that you could watch when you're done with this. And I'll have a video on Sunday that's a thrift with me and a thrift haul, some great brands in there that I want you to know. So I will see you soon. Bye.